Before radar ruled the sea, eyes and instinct decided survival. In this journey beneath the surface, the viewer is invited into the quiet, methodical world of the World War II U-boat. By the end, the patterns of darkness, sound, and discipline that guided these submarines toward unseen ships will feel starkly clear and deeply human. Night in the North Atlantic settles like a lid over steel. A U-boat runs on the surface, low in the water, its narrow deck slick with spray. The year is 1942, and the ocean is a long black plain, broken only by white caps and the faint loom of clouds. Inside the pressure hull, red-tinted lamps cast a dim glow over faces and instruments. The air is thick with oil, metal, and the faint sourness of many men in a small space. The crew moves with practiced economy, lookouts climbing to the bridge, hydrophone operators settling at their posts, the navigator bending over charts. The submarine's engines thrum steadily, a deep vibration through the deck plates. Orders are spoken quietly, repeated back in low voices. Above all, there is the constant awareness that they must find ships before ships find them. The search begins with geometry and guesswork. Reports from other submarines, estimates of convoy routes, and the known lanes of merchant traffic narrow the ocean into probable paths. The captain orders a course that cuts across these invisible tracks, hoping the boat will intersect a line of ships somewhere in the dark. On the bridge, lookouts brace against the wind, scanning the horizon in slow, overlapping arcs. Their world is reduced to silhouettes, a darker shape against a dark sky, a faint smudge of smoke, a brief glint of reflected starlight on a mast. Below, the hydrophone operator listens, headphones pressed tight, hands resting on dials. The engines are throttled back to reduce their own noise, and the low rumble fades, until the sea's faint murmurs emerge, distant waves, occasional crackles, and, sometimes, the rhythmic beat of propellers. Every sound is weighed. A regular, slow thump might be a lone freighter. A complex pattern of overlapping beats could mean a convoy with escorts. The operator calls out bearings in a steady tone, and the plotting officer marks them on a chart, thin pencil lines radiating from the submarine's position. The captain studies the pattern, imagining ships moving along those lines, their wakes invisible in the night. Up to this point, the search is an exercise in patience and restraint. The boat must remain unseen, yet close enough to strike if a target appears. The crew knows that somewhere beyond the black horizon, other vessels move through the same water, guided by their own routines and fears. The pressure is constant, fuel is limited, torpedoes are few, and every hour spent searching is an hour closer to being hunted. Weather adds another layer of uncertainty. Fog can erase the horizon entirely, forcing the captain to rely almost solely on sound. Heavy seas throw spray over the bridge, soaking the lookouts and blurring their vision. In such conditions, the submarine may dive to periscope depth, trading the wide view of the surface for the narrow, wavering circle of the periscope lens. Inside, the atmosphere tightens. Condensation beads on the steel frames. The hull creaks softly as the pressure outside increases. The periscope rises with a hiss, and the captain's face is lit by the faint glow from the eyepiece. He turns slowly, scanning for the faintest sign, a masthead, a funnel shape, a line of darker shadow that might be a column of ships. The crew waits in near silence, listening to the soft whir of the periscope and the distant, filtered sounds of the sea. The hinge comes in a moment that is almost always quiet. A lookout on the bridge stiffens, his hand rising in a practiced signal. He has seen something, perhaps only a slightly blacker bar on the horizon, low and thin. He calls down a bearing in a controlled voice. Below, the hydrophone operator confirms. Propeller beats, multiple, steady, approaching from the same direction. The plotting officer's pencil moves quickly, drawing the first lines of a possible convoy track. The captain steps to the bridge, eyes narrowing against the wind, then orders a slight course change and reduced speed. The submarine begins to turn, its bow swinging toward the unseen ships. Inside, men shift at their stations, not with excitement, but with a sharpened focus. The search has become a pursuit. As the bearings firm up, the U-boat settles into the long, deliberate work of closing in. Surface running offers speed, but also exposure. The captain weighs the risk of being silhouetted against the sky by an escort's watchful eyes. He orders a zigzagging approach, using the darkness and the swell to mask the submarine's low profile. The hydrophone operator continues to track the convoy, calling out changes in bearing and estimating distance, from the strength and character of the propeller sounds. The pattern reveals a rough formation. Slower, deeper beats in the center suggest merchant ships. Sharper, faster rhythms on the flanks hint at escorts. From here on, every decision is shaped by this invisible map of sound. When the convoy is near enough, the submarine slips below the surface, trading speed for concealment. The engines fall silent as electric motors take over, their hum a softer vibration through the hull. At periscope depth, the captain raises the scope in brief, cautious bursts, never leaving it up long enough to draw attention. Through the narrow view, the convoy emerges, dark hulls rolling in the swell, faint bow waves, the occasional flicker of a signal lamp that cannot be read from this distance. The escorts prowl at the edges, their wakes cutting white lines through the black water. Inside the control room, the torpedo officer calculates angles and speeds, using bearings, estimated ranges, and the convoy's apparent course. Men stand close, but not crowded, each at a familiar post, depth gauges, rudder controls, ballast valves. The air feels warmer, the silence broken only by muffled orders and the soft ticking of mechanisms. The act of finding ships in the dark is revealed not as a single stroke of luck, but as a chain of small, disciplined actions. Every lookout scan, every hydrophone bearing, every mark on the chart contributes to a picture that exists only in the minds of those aboard. The ocean, which from the surface seems empty and indifferent, becomes a layered space of tracks, sounds, and probabilities. The crew's senses extend beyond the steel hull, ears reaching through the water, eyes straining through the night, minds projecting lines of movement across the chart table. The tension is not only in the prospect of attack, but in the constant effort to remain unseen, to slip between the patterns of escorts and aircraft that also search the darkness. In this light, the methods used to find ships in darkness are less a tale of cunning than of endurance and routine. The procedures, repeated scans, careful plotting, measured course changes, reflect a steady attempt to impose order on an environment that resists it. The crews move through their tasks with an awareness that every detection is double-edged. To find is also to risk being found. Their work unfolds not in sudden dramatic gestures, but in accumulated minutes of attention, in the steady hum of machinery, in the quiet exchange of bearings and depths. What remains when the technical details are set alongside the human presence is a sense of fragile connection across the night sea. Merchant sailors, escorts, and submariners all navigate the same darkness, guided by instruments, training, and hope that their own side will see first. The U-boat's search for ships is one thread in this wider fabric of vigilance. It shows how, before electronic eyes swept the waves, survival often depended on the ability to read faint signs in wind, water, and sound. And in the vast dark ocean, a single sighting could change history.